And welcome to a year of eternal love. ACIM workbook for students, lesson 67. Love created me like itself. Today's idea is a complete an accurate statement of what you are. This is why you are the light of the world. This is why God appointed you as the world's Savior. This is why the Son of God looks to you for its salvation. He is saved by what you are. We will make every effort today to reach this truth about you and to realize fully, if only for a moment, that it is the truth. In the longer practice period, we will think about your reality and its wholly unchanged and unchangeable nature. We will begin by repeating this truth about you and then spend a few minutes adding some relevant thoughts, such as holiness created me holy. Kindness created me kind. Helpfulness created me helpful. Perfection created me perfect. Any attribute which is in accord with God as He defines Himself is appropriate for use. We are trying today to undo your definition of God and replace it with His own. We are also trying to emphasize that you are a part of the definition of Himself. After you have gone over several such related thoughts, try to let all thoughts drop away for a brief preparatory interval, and then try to reach past all your images and preconceptions about yourself to the truth in you. If love created you like itself, this self must be in you. And somewhere in your mind, it is there for you to find. You may find it necessary to repeat this idea from time to time to replace distracting thoughts. You may also find that it is not sufficient, and you may need to continue adding other thoughts related to the truth about yourself. Yet perhaps you will succeed in going past that and through the interval of thoughtlessness to the awareness of a blazing light in which you recognize yourself as love created you. Be confident that you will do much today to bring that awareness nearer, whether you feel you have succeeded or not. It will be particularly helpful today to practice the idea for today as often as you can. You need to hear the truth about yourself as frequently as possible, because your mind is so preoccupied with false self-images. 4 or 5 times an hour, and perhaps even more, it would be most beneficial to remind yourself that love created you like itself. Hear the truth about yourself in this. Try to realize in the shorter practice periods that this is not your tiny, solitary voice that tells you this. This is the voice for God, reminding you of your Father and of yourself. This is the voice of truth, replacing everything that the ego tells you about yourself with the simple truth about the Son of God. You were created by love like itself. And for the insights, these lessons, we're really getting closer to the truth of what you are. The last few lessons, we are realizing what our true function is, and our function and our happiness is identical, is one. Our function here is to be happy, for joy. We were created by love, like itself. We are like where we came from. This lesson is reminding us that we have these preconceptions, and we cannot know who we are if we don't know who the Creator is. We've had so much religious dogma in our life, and men trying to put us into fear of a fear image God, but there is no power on this earth like the power of God, and the God of His will for us is happiness. His love is all that there is. There is no judgments. There is no sin. This will challenge you. This lesson, these ideas are going to challenge everything that you have been conditioned up until this point. This is why we need mind training. We have been conditioned by false beliefs, feared beliefs, fear-based beliefs that emanated from other people's egos, the split mind. When we automatically think about where we were created, we're thinking of our parents. Some of us, including myself, said, "Oh, I didn't come from love." You came from love. You came from love. And that is all that you are. God is the divine intelligence that is in everything. That is all through you in this room. The room that you're in. And this all-knowing intelligence we're a part of. It's us remembering that. There's such a strength and peace and calmness of mind. When you practice this, when it becomes you, become one with it. I want to read over, because you are where you came from. You are a divine creation of God. I wanted to read the section where it talks about having a longer practice period for today. You may never get every practice period throughout the day for every lesson. And that's okay, you're not doing it wrong. The next day, try to follow it a little more. But when the day goes away from you, do a longer practice period. Don't succumb to the ego's fear-based thought system to project more fear, to project more separation between you and your brother. The ego wants to build such a narrative against other people and to keep you within that prison of fear. I want to read that over again, because you are like where you came from, including the creative gifts that were endowed upon you. Holiness created me holy. Kindness created me kind. Helpfulness created me helpful. Perfection created me perfect. You were perfectly created. But so isn't your brother. Even what you have deemed in your mind your arch enemy, perfectly created. Share that miracle with them today, when the ego, the temptation to separate and project more fear between you and them, recognize in another that they were perfectly created too. Your mind will be set with such majestic brilliance that will cut through all the darkness. And the other minds, your other brothers, will see this. And when you recognize the perfection in another, you will automatically recognize it in yourself. Love created me like itself. I want to thank you for joining with me today. This is a year of eternal love. I love you. And I hope you'll join me for tomorrow's lesson. And until then, God bless.